When Eric Adams is sworn in as New York City mayor, he will become the second African-American ever to assume the top job at City Hall. The ex-NYPD captain campaigned on making public safety a top priority, an issue credited with helping him win the support of New Yorkers across class and racial lines. But even though he won't take office until January 1st, he's already facing some challenges to his anti-crime agenda. Mayor-elect Eric Adams joining us now this evening. Good evening to you, sir.
How are you doing?
Great. Thank you very much. It's good to have you again. We should start with your reaction to what's in the news today, the spate of violence from the past 48 hours. 2 sexual assaults, one in Central Park, one on Randall's Island. Another woman pushed onto the subway tracks this afternoon. What is Mayor Eric Adams going to do to make sure these types of incidents decrease?
Well, and I think it's important when you talk about at your opening that I'm facing some challenging on how I want to make our city safe. And that is just not true because 13 people came to my office and I sat down and had a dialogue with them that they went outside and made it other than what took place in the room. That is not what overwhelming number of New Yorkers are saying. They heard my platform, they heard what I wanted to institute, and they voted for me because of that. We're going to make sure we have a well-trained anti-gun unit in our police department. We're going to make sure that we have our transit officers on our subway system with mental health professionals and start removing people off the system who are dealing with mental health illnesses and give them the services they deserve. And we're going to go after guns and gangs. New Yorkers are united on this, and we can't allow a fringe group to give the appearance that that is not the position of New Yorkers.
I know you dispute the word criticism, you call it a dialogue, but there have been people that are talking about this, the fact that you want to bring back NYPD's controversial plainclothes anti-crime unit. The Black Lives Matter organizers have vowed, the group that you referenced, they vowed riots and bloodshed if that happens. But even Mayor de Blasio today, who's usually on the same page with you, said that he disagrees with you on bringing that unit back. He says that they have gotten guns off the streets, arrests are at their highest levels in years. Do you dispute the city's characterization there?
Think about this for a moment, which is very important. I'm not bringing back the anti-crime unit. And we, as much as I say it, we still talk about it like that. I'm producing a new plainclothes unit that will focus on guns and gangs. And the next question that we must ask everyone, why did we get rid of the precinct level plainclothes unit, precinct levels? Because they were not doing the job, they were being abusive. And so we're not saying we don't need plainclothes officers, because you still have a citywide plainclothes officer. We're saying the precinct level was too abusive, and I am saying that we can have a better officer doing that job, because if you remove a plainclothes officer that's abusive and put him in uniform, you still have an abusive officer in the department. That does not make sense.
So I hear what you're saying, that the unit you want to create is going to be different than the one that was disbanded, but I'd like to hear a few more specifics on how the two are going to be different.
Well, number one, video cameras. When you speak with the district attorneys, they'll tell you that many of the officers in plain clothes who were making arrests, they were turning off their video cameras. That's unacceptable. My supervisors are going to supervise their officers and make sure that every time you make an interaction, it will be video. Number two, the officers sign. They're going to have a clear mission. We're going after gangs and guns. Those are driving the crime that we're seeing in our city around gun violence, and they're going to be trained with conflict resolution. No more just having them going after collars or arresting as many people as possible and stopping them. We're going to have a different mission with precision policing in the areas that we know gangs and guns are, and we know where they are over the city, and you're going to see a more precision approach in how you use well-trained officers with a different mission than what we saw before.
Okay. In the few seconds we've got left, I want to pivot to the pandemic here. You made a comment shortly after Election Day that you want to, quote, revisit the vaccine mandate for city workers. What exactly do you mean by revisit the mandate?
Well, because when I sat down, again, I'm sitting down with so many people, but when I sat down with those who were trying to say why they were not taking the vaccine, you have to weed out those who are just anti-vaxxers for those who have legitimate conversations. Like one mother, she never took a vaccine. She had a religious exemption. None of her children took a vaccine all the way through high school and college. And now we're telling her we're going to disregard your religious exemption. That is not right. If she had a religious exemption for measles, mumps, and smallpox, then she should have that same religious exemption happened here. And those were medical, real legitimate medical issues. We need to look at that and take that in consideration. So it's not blanket, but those were legitimate reasons.
Okay.
We need to respect that.
All right. Mayor-elect Eric Adams, thank you for being here on this Friday evening. We appreciate it.
Take care.